You ever been somewhere, a place that just feels different?
Hmm.
Like the air itself has this weight, or there's this hum under your feet.
Yeah.
Ancient energy.
Yeah, definitely. Sacred sites often have that pull, don't they? That sense of mystery.
Exactly. And that feeling is exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at insights from someone we've actually explored before, Matías de Stefano.
That's right. We're digging into a really rich conversation he had with an Andean guide, Jorge Delgado. They were talking about Peru, specifically the incredible energy there, how these sacred sites connect to, well, way more than just the land itself.
Yeah, so our mission here, our goal for this deep dive is really to pull out the key insights from that talk.
Hmm.
We want to understand, what is Peru's unique energy? How does it connect to the stars, to the cosmos?
Hmm.
What's the real deal with soul purpose, according to them? And maybe the biggest piece for me, how do we take all this fascinating knowledge and actually feel it, live it, move from the head to the heart, day to day?
Right. That's the core question, isn't it? We'll be looking at things like ancient Earth grades, magnetic north, which is fascinating, star connections, legends.
And this idea that light isn't just, light. It is love, service, wisdom, and then hopefully some practical stuff too.
Yeah.
How can you, listening right now, connect more deeply with yourself, with the planet?
It's quite a journey we're mapping out here, using their conversation as our sort of compass, and we're really doing this exploration together with you.
Exactly. That's what we do here on the Presence Podcast. We explore these kinds of connections, these ideas together. And hey, if you're finding value in these explorations, if this resonates with you, maybe consider liking and subscribing. It helps us keep these deep dives going.
Okay, so where do we start? Peru, right?
Yeah. Matías kicks things off talking about his really personal connection to Peru. He actually says it's like a fundamental starting point for him, a place he needs to go back to when he's starting new stages, new work. He gets specific information there. He almost sees it as a physical doorway to the spiritual path, especially for South America.
And he ties that feeling, that connection, directly to the land itself, the geology.
Yeah.
He talks about the Andes Mountains and their energy. It's not just moving across the land horizontally,
Right.
but it moves vertically too, upwards, creating this channel between the earth, the atmosphere, even the ionosphere. And it's that vertical flow that really amplifies the connection to the spiritual realms there.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting, how things start connecting. He brings up this idea of an ancient Earth grid.
Ah, yes, the grid.
He suggests that maybe 15,000 years ago, Peru was right on a magnetic equator. Connected, he says, to the time of Atlantis. And this wasn't just a line. It was like a corridor of energy pulsating across the planet.
Wow. Connecting places like
Egypt, India, Peru, crossing the South Pacific, a major energy highway.
And not just for humans, right? He suggests this corridor was used by, well, constellations, stars, even beings from other dimensions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they use this energy path to navigate, to know where to connect with Earth, where to anchor their energy. So Peru gets this incredible mix. Deep Earth energy, the telluric stuff, and powerful cosmic energy.
That's quite a concept, a cosmic highway running through Peru.
And that magnetic pathway, that ancient one, connects to something really provocative about us, about our own inner compass. Matías points out something basic. We're wired for magnetism. We have iron in our blood. We're literally little biological compasses oriented to magnetic north.
Makes sense.
So he argues that when humanity started disconnecting from nature's cycles, ignoring the real calendar, not navigating by stars, maybe shifting focus from magnetic north, which our bodies feel, to true north.
Yeah.
Well, we created a disconnect.
A disconnect internally.
Yeah, inside us, messed with our inner path, disrupted that natural brain-heart balance.
Which could explain a lot.
He thinks it's a big reason why so many of us feel kind of lost, unsure of who we are, our purpose, where we're going. It's like our collective disconnection from the Earth's magnetic pulse is mirrored in our personal confusion.
That's a powerful thought. And he mentioned something about AI.
Right. He found it striking that research, I think, from Harvard predicts one of AI's top uses soon will be helping people find their purpose. It's like this modern tech search is reflecting an ancient, maybe magnetically linked human need for direction.
Wow. Okay, so from that deep Earth energy and magnetic connection, it feels natural to then look upwards to the cosmos. And that's where Jorge Luis Delgado comes in, bringing the Andean perspective.
Yeah, he shares these incredible legends, like the story behind Machu Picchu's shape.
The condor shape.
Exactly. The legend goes that during a time of huge change, when even some constellations vanished from view, the people felt they needed to build Machu Picchu like a condor.
Why a condor?
So they could fly, metaphorically speaking. Access that lost celestial reality, map the heavens onto the earth to keep that vital connection alive.
Maintaining the connection, that seems key.
It's even in the language. Jorge explains the word Chicana. It means bridge.
A bridge, like the constellation, the Southern Cross.
Well, yes, often seen as connecting to the Milky Way. But he said some elders shared a deeper meaning. It's a bridge to return home.
Return home. Wow, that hits differently.
And the legends are full of star talk, right? Pleiades, Venus, Orion's belt, the Southern Cross, and this idea of star brothers and sisters, the ancient ones who guided humanity.
Yeah, and even the landscape holds this connection. The mountains, the Hapas, they're seen as embodying these multidimensional beings, protectors called Achilles, ancestral masters of light, essentially.
And Lake Titicaca, known as Wamara, the eternal city in ancient times. It's seen as a place where light beings and masters reside, a place for awakening consciousness.
It's all interwoven. Earth, stars, ancestors, beings.
Totally. He even talked about the mesa carriers, their medicine bags. The very first stone they carry, it represents their lineage from the stars. Often it's a meteor or a tektite.
A stone from the sky.
Yeah. The belief is these star brothers brought stones to the sacred sites, the huacas. These huacas are places where the veil is thin, where visible and non-visible meet.
Dimensions overlapping.
And gratitude to the stars is huge in their ceremonies. Not just thanking distant lights, but acknowledging beings sending love, service, wisdom. Because for them...
love, service, and wisdom are light.
Exactly. That's a core teaching Jorge shares. He also mentioned Lake Humayo near Silistani as another place where that veil is incredibly thin. You can feel the connection more easily there.
So all these connections, these power places, they inevitably lead back to that big human question, maybe amplified in these spots. What's my purpose?
Right. And Jorge's perspective is interesting. Finding purpose, especially in these high-energy places, isn't about finding a job title. It's about finding your place in the universe.
Your unique spot.
Yeah, the point where your own frequency clicks with the cosmic vibe. A place where that light, remember, love, service, wisdom just naturally flows through you, amplified.
And the Inca perspective he shared is amazing. They didn't think they needed to find enlightenment.
No, they believed they were enlightened already. Children of the light, children of the sun. Born that way.
That's a fundamentally different starting point.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Jorge contrasts our usual idea of understanding, mental, logical, with what he calls overstanding.
Overstanding, I like that.
Me too. It's not thinking, it's feeling. A deep knowing that comes from within, like warmth from your inner sun. It bypasses the thinking mind. It's about presence.
So how do you embody that? If you're already light, how do you live it?
Well, according to Jorge, it involves radical self-love and constantly working to release the blocks, the resistance.
The stuff we pick up just by being human.
Yeah.
Fear, old beliefs, judgment.
Exactly. That egocentric human condition stuff. He also shared this really profound idea about life being proportional.
Proportional? How so?
The challenges, the weaknesses we face, especially mentally, emotionally today, they aren't just random bad luck. They're actually invitations.
Invitations to what?
To an extraordinary life. The medicine for the weakness isn't something outside you find. It's the extra light, the extra love, service, wisdom that you apply to that very challenge.
Wow. So the challenge contains the potential for growth. The medicine is in the response.
Precisely. And accessing that wisdom, that light, isn't about learning more facts. It's about remembering what you already carry inside. He talks about being born with baskets of wisdom.
Baskets of wisdom.
And accessing portals of wisdom. He used the Andean word yake. It's a palindrome, reads the same forwards and backwards.
Ah, like a gateway in language.
Yeah. Seen as a portal. You get into or out of that state of wisdom by releasing the heavy stuff, the dense energy, by seeing experiences not as burdens, but as, well, invitations to remember.
Okay, this is all incredibly rich, which brings us right back to that core question, the one that came up in their chat, and I bet resonates with a lot of you wanderers listening.
How do we actually do it? How do we move from knowing all this cool stuff to actually living it? Embodied wisdom from the heart, every day.
And Matías jumps in here with a perspective shift. He says, wisdom. It's not really about understanding, not about collecting data points.
So what is it about then?
It's about sensing life with every single cell. And maybe most crucially, allowing yourself to be a channel.
A channel for energy flow.
Exactly. He stresses releasing expectation. Because expectation is based on knowledge, right? You compare what is happening to your stored data about what you thought should happen.
So expectation limits what you can perceive.
Totally. It puts filters on. Wisdom often shows up unexpectedly, a feeling, a sense, something nonlinear. So breaking our patterns, those mental habits we built for safety, that's key. Sometimes challenges or crises help shake those patterns loose.
So we can become that open connector, that channel.
Right, which leads to another concept that, can bend the mind a bit.
Uh-oh, what now?
Life happens through me.
Through me, not to me or for me.
Exactly. Matías sees it as an evolution. To me, as victimhood. For me, the popular I create my reality idea, he sees that as still limited.
Limited how?
Because it still centers the I as a separate point, observing and trying to control things. He says consciousness isn't in one point watching, it's a flow moving through everything. So the aim isn't to direct reality from your ego.
But to be a bridge.
Yes, to allow that universal consciousness, that life force, to flow through you.
That's a different way of seeing it.
It is, and he connects it to ancient practices, like practicing death daily.
Whoa, okay, practicing death. Sounds morbid.
Not in the way he means it. It's about understanding the body is temporary, a vessel, a channel for consciousness. Doing that helps loosen the ego's grip, allowing the divine, that universal flow, to move through, rather than us constantly trying to interpret and manage it from our limited view.
Okay, I get it. It's about letting go of control. Someone in the comments said it can kind of break your brain a little bit in a good way.
Definitely shifts the perspective. Someone else asked about the rainbow bridge, the rainbow light body. You hear those terms sometimes, right? In different traditions, maybe plant medicine work.
What's the take there?
Matías explains it really elegantly, tying it back to us already being light. He says we're not trying to become some rainbow thing. We're already different spectrums of the same light, just vibrating at different wavelengths.
So the rainbow bridge isn't external.
No, it's internal. It's the process of integrating all the vibrations within you, allowing your whole spectrum to resonate without blocking parts of it.
So when we get stuck in labels like, I'm only this, or seeing things as totally separate, like that tree is just a tree.
We limit our own vibration to just one color, basically. We miss the connections, the bridges between everything. When we open up to life, to all of it, the light that we are can express itself in all its colors, all its wavelengths.
Makes sense. Is there a practice connected to that?
Yeah, he suggests one. Instead of saying, I want nourishment, or directing energy outward like, I love you, which he kind of implies can push your essence away, create separation, like cutting off pieces of yourself. Try saying, I am the aspect, like, I am nourishment, or I am love. He says consciousness isn't just spiritual. It's about making one thing out of separate ideas. Finding that balance, that resonance.
Like bringing it all together inside.
Exactly. He compares it to widening the aperture on a camera. Consciousness isn't just about vibrating high. It's about expanding your aperture to include and resonate with all the frequencies.
Okay, and bringing this all back down to earth, back to the practical. Both Matías and Jorge emphasize practices, right? You can't just think about this stuff.
Absolutely essential. Knowledge isn't embodiment. Practices are key.
Were there specific ones they mentioned?
Yeah, a few. The sunflower practice, connecting father-son's energy down through your crown, breathing light in and out. That's specifically for unblocking cellular memory, helping you remember your soul's purpose, your original design.
Simple but powerful.
Totally. And even simpler, just greeting yourself each morning. A conscious act to remember. I am light. Connecting with your inner sun. There was also a practice for cleansing the 11 eyes.
11 eyes.
Yeah, it's about clearing your perception, releasing the smoky eyes, the distortions from past stuff so you can see clearly, see the light in everything, including yourself.
I like that, smoky eyes.
Yeah.
So someone asked about creating sacred spaces where we live, not having to travel to Peru.
And Jorge tied that back to the chakruna idea, the bridge person. He said, the energy, the practices you learn in power places, they aren't meant to just stay there.
You take them back with you.
Exactly. You embody them where you are. You become the walking sacred site, the bridge. And you don't have to be rigid about one tradition. Be creative, foster sacredness locally.
So why do people go to places like Peru then? If you can do it anywhere?
Good question. He explained that those places are like high voltage zones. Anything you do there, intentions, practices, get seriously magnified by the energy of the place.
Ah, like an amplifier.
Yeah. He mentions sunrise ceremonies there being particularly potent, connecting with your soul frequency, resonating with evolved beings embodying the Inca state, luminous, clear, enthusiastic, returning to your original design. And these places, they just naturally draw bright souls, kindred spirits.
Community. That came out too, didn't it? Especially with remembering past lives. Someone asked about that.
Right. And Matías made a key point. Past life memories usually aren't in the brain, like facts and dates. That part of memory is for this life's survival.
So where are they?
In the body, cellular memory, sensations, chills, feelings you get in certain places or around certain people. These memories are spread through your DNA across lifetimes.
Okay, but how do you access them if they're cellular?
That's where community is vital. He suggests you don't hold the whole picture yourself. The pieces are scattered, held energetically or maybe even genetically among others you're connected to.
So meeting people, going places, connecting, it helps put the puzzle together.
Exactly. It helps complete the tapestry of who you are across time. Community is essential for remembering our own spirit, remembering collectively.
Matías used this really wild analogy for humanity right now. He called us the planet's nerve system, like neurons.
Whoa, how does that work?
By moving through these sacred sites, these energy nodes or huacas, humans are literally connecting the dots, transmitting data, rewiring the planet's consciousness.
So travel to sacred sites is like planetary acupuncture.
Kind of. And he argues that now, with all the data exploding AI, tech humans have to do this conscious rewiring. We need to reconnect with the first coding, the original consciousness in these sacred places, to keep pace, to expand ourselves physically and energetically.
That puts a whole different spin on travel and pilgrimage, and he mentioned this time being a great shift.
Yeah, describing us as death duelers to the material world and birth duelers to the energetic realm. Simultaneously letting go and birthing something new. It's an intense active role.
Wow, okay. We have covered so much ground here. From ancient grids in Peru and star maps in the Andes, all the way to the nature of purpose, becoming a channel, embodying light.
It's really profound stuff. The connection between these ancient sites, cosmic wisdom, our own purpose, and this path towards embodied wisdom, towards being light, it's all deeply interconnected.
And that core idea keeps coming back. We are light. We're designed to be these channels, these bridges for consciousness.
Absolutely. These concepts really do open things up. And as they mentioned in the source material, hearing about it is one thing, but the transmission from this kind of wisdom is felt most powerfully when it's experienced more directly.
Yeah, moving beyond just the intellectual understanding.
And for any of you listening, any wanderers who feel a strong pull towards exploring these ideas and maybe even these high-energy places more deeply in a more embodied way, the source conversation did mention an opportunity, a tour in Peru with both Matías and Jorge.
Ah, right, a chance to dive in firsthand.
Yeah. They said you can find details for that at Gaia.com/Peru. Just putting that out there if it resonates.
An invitation to step right into those energies and practices they talked about.
So, to wrap up our deep dive today, maybe let's leave you with something to ponder, something to carry with you.
Okay.
How can you, wherever you are right now, today, how can you intentionally practice allowing life, allowing consciousness to move through you? What might it feel like, look like, to really see the world not just happening for you, but expressing itself through you?
That's a good one to sit with. Thank you for joining us on this exploration.
Yeah, thanks for diving deep with us. It's a journey we're all on, exploring these mysteries together.